Hey guys, it's Saltchrome here, and today I'm going to talk about the new meta that will rise after the April update. Now, these are my own speculations, so I might be right or I might be wrong. But as a hardcore Crucible player, I will try and do my best to predict a couple of things. Now, these predictions are based on the patch notes that Bungie released on their site. I will link these patch notes in the description below so you guys can check them out. Let's begin with primary weapons. Right now, the most used primary weapons are the Myra Multitool, the Last Word, and the low impact, high rate of fire pulse rifles and auto rifles. So these weapons are the most popular primary weapons to use right now in the game. But I think this will change, and after the April update, the most popular weapons to use in the Crucible are going to be the following. Let's start with Suros Regime. Now, this gun was once one of the strongest guns to use in Crucible. But after the huge auto rifle nerf, this gun was only a shadow of its former self. But don't be sad, because this gun is getting a significant buff. The high impact, low rate of fire auto rifles will receive a damage buff, and this gun belongs to this archetype, so the Suros will get a damage buff. Not only that, but it's also getting a significant range buff to its focused fire perk, which increases your impact at the cost of your rate of fire, which also makes this gun easier to use in my opinion. So the Suros is a good candidate for the next meta in the Crucible. Up next we have Hawkmoon. Like the Suros, this gun in year 1 was also a top tier gun to use in the Crucible. This gun has also been nerfed a couple of times, and in its current state, in my opinion, it's not a bad gun, but it is overshadowed by a lot of other guns. And that is why you don't see it as much in the Crucible. But this gun is getting a range buff, and this buff might help the gun to get in the spotlight again. Note that an increase in range also means an increase in accuracy, which this gun desperately needs. So yeah, expect to see a lot of Hawkmoons in the Crucible after the April update. Up next we have the Myra Multitool, which was slightly nerfed. So the nerf was that they took the high caliber rounds from this gun, which was actually the secret perk of this gun. This nerf is not going to affect the gun that much. The Myra is still going to be one of the best guns to use in PvP. The high impact, low rate of fire pulse rifles will, in my opinion, rise again, because this archetype will get a 2.5% damage buff. This might not sound a lot, but in PvP, even the smallest changes make a big difference. So yeah, I can't wait to try out my Reflection Sun, which is the Trials of Osiris pulse rifle. And lastly we have the Vex Mythoclast. Now this gun is a special one, because it's a fusion rifle that you use in your primary slot, and it acts like an auto rifle. Now for the vanilla Destiny players out there, you guys know what this gun used to be. This gun in its former glory used to be so strong that you'd need a machine gun to even compete with this gun. But after being nerfed over and over and over again, this gun has become trash. They nerfed its accuracy and range, they nerfed its stability, they nerfed its magazine, they nerfed its damage. Basically everything on this gun was nerfed. Right now it is very hard to use because of its awful stability. Now in the upcoming update, Bungie is going to increase the stability of the fusion rifles. And because the Vex Mythoclast is categorized as a fusion rifle, this gun will also get a stability buff, which by the way it desperately needs. So I think this gun will be somewhat viable in PvP. It's a year 1 gun, so you won't see this gun in Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris, but in a normal PvP playlist you might see this gun again. So these are my predictions as far as primaries go. So let's move on to the special weapons. Right now the snipers are by far the most popular special weapon to use in the Crucible, and that's why Bungie decided to nerf the snipers a bit. The snipers will now take a bit longer to aim down sight, and the zoom on the lowest zoom scopes are a bit increased. Now these changes might not sound a lot, but it will definitely make sniping harder. And as I said before, the fusion rifles are getting a stability buff, which is definitely going to increase the amount of fusion rifle users. So I think we are going to see some variety in the special weapon category, aside from sidearms, because they kinda suck. And I don't think that Bungie is planning to buff them anytime soon. And about shotguns, well, they are kinda in a good place, aside from the perfectly rolled conspiracy theory with the rangefinder that everyone has. Yeah, aside from that, it's in a good place. So yeah, my conclusion for the special weapons, we are definitely going to see some more fusion rifle users and less sniper users, but snipers and shotguns are still going to dominate the Crucible, especially in Trials of Osiris. Now as far as heavies go, they will pretty much stay the same. Bungie is going to nerf the heavy weapon spawns so that it only spawns once a match, so it will only spawn once when you are 5 minutes in the match. So in other words, your first heavy weapon ammo will be your last heavy weapon ammo, which I think is a positive change, because you have always those players that can't with their machine gun, with their heavy machine gun, the entire match, which can be very frustrating. As far as these subclasses, I think it will be pretty much the same. Sunsingers will still dominate 3v3 playlists, and in 6v6 playlists we might see a little more Voidwalkers since they are getting buffed, and a bit less Stormcallers since they are getting nerfed. And as far as Titans and Hunters go, they will stay the same, but I definitely think that the Sunbreaker Titan needs a little buff, and the heat detection problems on the hammers needs to be fixed ASAP, along with the heat detection problems that the Arc Blade has. Basically, right now in Destiny, almost all melee abilities have heat detection problems, which is ruining the Crucible for me personally. I even made a specific video for this topic on my channel, you can look it up if you want. So yeah, I really hope the heat detection problems are fixed in the upcoming update. So guys, this was it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, you can always leave a like, and for more Destiny content, you can subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys on my next video.